All right, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different here on my channel. I don't do this, not in real life and definitely not on YouTube, but today I'm going to be reacting to a Christian movie. It sounds weird even coming out of my mouth because I don't usually do this. One, Christian movies are usually pretty bad, like technically. Like the cinematography is usually really wonky, the acting is bad, the story is all over the place. So as just like a film, and I'm like a movie buff, so as a film, usually not very appealing to me. Two, I care about theology, and most Christian movies just don't. Sorry if that offends you, but usually they're just trying to be as vanilla as possible with Christianity. So there's usually not a lot of substance there. And then three, usually the story just isn't very interesting to me. It's a policeman, it's a fireman, it's a lawyer, it's a doctor, and they're a Christian. And so now they have to be a Christian. And it's like, well, that's everyone. That's not very appealing to me. But this time it's a little bit different than those scenarios because I have a connection to this film, and I'll talk about that at the end. But let's look at this thing and show you what I am talking about. So this is the Jesus Revolution. And so I'm going to, I don't usually do this kind of thing, so I'm going to kind of speed it up, and I might chop it up at certain times. So I'm sorry, but I'm a little concerned about, all the YouTubey things. But let's watch this.
I think we should invite Greg this weekend.
This weekend.
These people are hippies.
His house has a very good vibe.
And there he is, Lonnie Frisbee, the controversial figure. This is the story of the Jesus movement. So in Southern California and, up north too, I guess. But specifically with Chuck Smith, who is there getting hugged by Lonnie Frisbee and Laurie. This is their story of establishing really a movement that God did a lot of amazing things through, and really focusing on the hippie kids, like the teenagers and, young people who were disenfranchised with the way traditional culture was, and got into a lot of things and, sex and drugs and all that kind of stuff. But these guys spoke to that culture in a really meaningful way for a lot of those people.
I was almost done with this, but then you did what nobody else would even dare.
See, that's it. Doesn't that sound pretty similar to some people today? Like, not everybody, but people who are honestly looking at their faith and calling it deconstruction. They're looking at the culture within Christianity, and it's just not resonating with them, and it's beginning to cause questions in their hearts about what Scripture actually teaches, and they feel like there's not a place for them. Seems like that's not a new thing.
This is your home, and I want you to tell all your friends about it.
So that's the movie. It's coming out next year, and you might have watched that and been like, that just looks like any other Christian movie. I think it's a little bit better as far as just a trailer goes. But also, the reason why I care about this is because of this lady right here. This is my mom. Her name is Susan. She went to go be with the Lord last year. And I miss her very much. She was a wonderful lady, a good mom. She had her hardships and was definitely not perfect, but she loved Jesus. She really loved Jesus, and she lived out that love for Jesus in a way that I saw, and I knew that faith was real, and that helped me to be able to understand who Jesus is. And the reason why she understood who Jesus was because Lonnie Frisbee and Laurie showed her and told her. My mom was a hippie. in the 60s. She loved, the Beatles and the Beach Boys. She was there at Anaheim Stadium when they cracked it from dancing and swaying too much at the concert. She was there. She has a lot of stories about being a hippie, but she was a little disenfranchised with the way church was done. And so Lonnie Frisbee and Greg Laurie spoke the gospel to her in a way that she could understand. And so, yeah, she was one of those teens getting baptized in the ocean. She was one of those teenagers that went to the Bible studies and went to the Crusades and got deeply involved in her faith because of the ministry of those men. And I'm not saying, Lonnie Frisbee's ministry was perfect. Like she would always say, Mom would always say that there was a darkness in him. And you could go on Wikipedia and see all about that kind of stuff. Controversial figure, to say the least. But she did hear the gospel from them in a way that she could understand, in a way that made her feel like she belonged. And I think there is such an important lesson there, that we as Christians, despite our theological camps, I'm a Reformed Baptist, you might be a Presbyterian, Pentecostal, Anglican, all different spectrums of the Christian kingdom. You might fit into any one of those kinds of tribes, but at the end of the day, we should all believe the gospel. And if we believe the gospel, we can thank God for each other's ministries. And so even though, the Jesus movement wasn't perfect, the leaders might not have been perfect, but God did something amazing through that ministry. And I thank God for the ministry of Lonnie Frisbee and Greg Laurie, because my mom got saved. And, as she's in heaven now, praising Jesus at his throne, like I couldn't imagine what that would be like if it wasn't for their ministry. So yes, I'm excited for this movie. Yes, I'm going to be watching it. And yes, I really hope it's good. But even if it's not, I'll probably like it anyways, because I know the story, because my mom told me. So just a little bit different of a video. If you like this, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. I don't really do reactions like this a lot, but maybe I will in the future. Let me know. Are you going to watch this movie? Let me know that too down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.